Hey guys, Tony here, and in this video we're going to do a tour of my friend Leo's home theatre. I'd like to thank Leo for inviting me into his home to show me this amazing home theatre.
Hey guys.
I can tell you this room, I just finished watching Ready Player One, and you can probably hear better acoustics in the recording of this video compared to the ones in my own room, because Leo has done an absolutely superb job of the acoustic treatment. We'll cover off that in a little bit, but yeah, why don't you tell us a little bit about the space, Leo, and the dimensions, and you know how you came about to build a theatre in this room.
Sure, thanks Tony, thanks for coming. So obviously this has been a passion for such a long time, and once we built this house I obviously had the dream of building my dream home theatre. The room, yeah, it's just perfect for what it is inside a house. So it's 3.8 meters wide by 5.5 meters long and 2.7 ceilings. So yeah, I was able to do what I wanted to do for such a long time.
Perfect.
I'm really happy with it. Yeah.
And it's a 7.2.4.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And we'll cover off the speakers in a little bit, but the screen, I'm looking at it right now, we do have something playing in the background. It's still Ready Player One, and it's a 130-inch CinemaScope screen, and you can probably see just over my head here, we have my dream projector for the moment, which is the
JVC NX7. Yeah, absolutely amazing. Yeah, I couldn't be happier. The picture just pops, and yeah, beautiful.
And why don't you tell us a little bit about the projector? I believe you had it professionally calibrated as well.
Yes, I did. Obviously, I was on the fence about what is it going to give me? Is it going to give me that much, spending that sort of money? And yeah, I have to say it was day and night, to be honest. What he was able to get out of this projector, and now me looking at it, and yeah, I'm happy I made that move.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen quite a few, you know, screens in my time doing this YouTube hobby, and I can say, like, that image is so crystal clear, sharp, the colors are very vibrant, and the contrast is superb. And yeah, I can just say that, you know, anyone that is on the fence about whether or not to go, and they have the budget and they are on the fence about going with something like the JVC NX7, I'd say it's a pretty good choice. Yeah, so very, very nice choices. So why don't we discuss some of the speakers that you've got in here? We'll go with your soundstage.
Sure. So I got the Polk Audio RTI A9s as my left and right. Then I got the matching center. I think it's the CSI6. And then I got the dipole, bipole, surround and back surround speakers. In ceiling, I got 4 Paradigm speakers. Yeah, which I'm really happy with. Unfortunately, I couldn't match that with the Polk, but yeah, they fit in nicely. The tweeters, and then I got 2 SVS PC13 Ultras.
Yes, these subwoofers are pretty unique. They look like giant barrels, yeah. And I can tell you they shake the room and the house. So
they do.
Very impressive.
Yeah. They were a bit hard to position because of the size and the standing up, because they usually got a smaller footprint. But yeah, I was able actually to tilt them to the side, which I didn't know for a long time, so it worked out perfectly. Yeah,
and there's one in the front, yeah, and there's another one on the riser
at the back. Yeah.
And I was sitting on the riser for the demo. We were playing, and there was explosions and things going off, and the entire platform, there was a lot of tactile response. You know, it was very good, very impressive. And yeah, I must say, just my impressions listening to this room, with the amount of acoustic treatment that you've done, yeah, the positioning, like the imaging, was just superb.
Thank you.
You could hear every little shot, every little, you know, twig breaking. You could hear it positionally within the room.
Yeah, so a goal of mine was obviously not to over-treat the room either, even though it seems like a lot, but I really position it where it should be. I obviously use the mirror technique along the wall to really find those spots which I should be treating. And always sort of like that straight line sort of look with the lighting behind it. Yeah.
Well, they're very unique, and maybe you want to explain to us how you came about building these panels.
Actually, I follow a guy over in Germany which builds amazing home theatres, and always loved his designs. And again, it's the straight lines, and you got these massive diffuser and absorption panels. And yeah, I just wanted to sort of do this myself, and so. Funny that, you know, we now bought the material, found the right acoustic treatment and the right speaker cloth which I could stretch along, and it was actually a lot easier than I thought. But it shows you can DIY that stuff and have amazing result.
Well, the interesting thing about this is that they look like one big panel, but I can see from when we're holding the light up to it that there's actually panels separately within that,
Yeah.
so that, like you said, it's not over-treating the room. It's basically putting the panels and the diffusers at the reflection points
Exactly.
according to where your speakers are.
Exactly, but then you still have that straight line, that whole look, so one straight panel all the way through.
Yeah,
which
and
that's sort of the look I was after. And obviously there's even that fabric which I use is speaker cloth, which really helps with the contrast again, even though I got the theatre paint on the walls, but it is just, again, a little bit darker, which helps the image tremendously.
Yeah, it looks good. I'm a big sucker for lighting. Anyone that's watched my channel knows that.
Yeah.
And we can see I absolutely love the diffusion of the lights coming out from behind that panel. You know, that
Thank you. Means a lot.
It looks amazing. And you know, you've set it to blue, which is also probably my favorite color as well. So
it just goes really well, yeah.
It looks great.
And then I like, obviously, the whole feature that I can control it with Alexa and get the room up and running.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Moving on to some of the other, really cool features that you've got in here. You've got AC Infinity system running.
Yeah.
Why don't you explain to us a little bit about how you've got that set up in both your rack and in this room?
So in the room itself, obviously, being an Australian, it gets really hot in here, so I have ducted aircon, but then obviously I wanted to sort of create something to drag the hot air out of the room. So I bought this AC Infinity fan, which is up in the roof, and I ducted it to a outlet in the room itself. And then I got a control point behind the projector, which monitors the temperature. When it reaches that certain point, which I set it on, then it will fire up and start sucking that hot air out of the room. And then I got a similar system in the AV rack, where I got a couple of temperature units in there monitoring the actual heat. And they actually suck the air out of the equipment and bring it to the top. And then I got one in the ceiling again, which sucks it into the roof and out the top. Yeah, and it works really well. It keeps everything protected.
Yeah,
as it should.
Okay, we're talking about the rack and some of the cool features of that rack, and in there we have some very cool amps. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the amps that you've got and how they are used in your soundstage?
Sure. So I went a little bit crazy, a little bit overkill, but as everyone knows in this hobby, there's no overkill. I've got two XPR 2s from Emotiva, which are 600 watts per channel. And then I got one XPR 5, which are 5 channels at 400 watts. So I actually amped the two front speakers because I couldn't really get my heart over using one of those just for the Atmos speakers. So I had to go full on crazy. And then I got 2 crown amplifiers in there for the Atmos.
Yep.
Yeah.
So pretty much the entire setup is running on separates, because for your processor you've also got...
Yeah, I got a Marantz 7704.
Yep.
Which I absolutely love. Yeah.
So it's an 11-channel processor. Are you running them as balanced connections or...
Balanced connections, yes.
Okay, so balanced XLR connections.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've pretty much gone to the point that you've got everything the way that you want it, although I'm sure Leo probably has some upgrades in mind. I can't imagine what, because these speakers sound absolutely on song in this room.
There's always something to add, obviously, in this hobby, and it's never the end. So ultimately, I would love to do something you did, Tony. Put the speakers behind the screen. So hopefully, I will do that one day. But that's definitely something I'm considering.
Well, I'll say one of the benefits of not having them behind the screen is you get to look at them.
Yeah, you can showcase them. That's the beauty of it, absolutely. And I do love the way these speakers look and obviously sound as well. But yeah, obviously to have that real cinema feel, that really clean front stage look, the speaker should be behind the screen. So hopefully I'll be able to do that.
Well, the way you've positioned them, the sound definitely felt like it was coming from the screen. And I was very impressed with the how precise the sound was, the positional effects that were coming, especially when we were watching Lone Survivor, and there was gunshots coming from every direction, and my ear could pick them up, and that's just something that proves to me that even in my own room, I need to continue on my acoustic treatment journey. It's probably the last thing that I need to do as well. But in this room, it's given me a lot of ideas and you know, just showing what you can achieve. I can even hear when we're talking, there's literally no echo in this room. It doesn't sound like a dead room, but it just sounds very natural.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to achieve. And I do a lot of measurings with the mic and REW, just to make sure those frequencies are correct. And sometimes it's amazing, just by positioning the speaker slightly to the left or right, you achieve a completely different result. So it's well worth, obviously, going into that. Yeah, absolutely.
And moving on to some of the other things in this room, we have, these are the Amart Optimus recliners.
Amart Optimus recliner. I find them super comfortable, super affordable. They got the backrest, which you can adjust and obviously recline for the recline. They got the really nice lights. The lights are, when you put them on, a little bit distracting, so I don't recommend it obviously during a movie. But yeah, great seat, and yeah, really, really comfortable.
Yeah, they definitely are. I had a very similar set to these. So yeah, I think they look great in your room, especially the color matches everything. Your room is very much after my taste personally, very dark black room. Yeah. It's my thing. I love it. Okay, so moving back to the rack, and we'll talk about some of the other things that are in the rack. You have a PlayStation 5. I don't know how you managed to get one, but obviously you've got a PS5 in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a bit of a gamer, not too crazy, but I don't really use this room for gaming. This is just a theater room for movies, and I use my 75-inch Sony TV in the living room for the gaming.
Excellent. And for this room specifically, you've got, I think it was the UB820?
820, yeah, absolutely beautiful. Obviously, for a while it was really good matching it with the JVC because of the tone mapping, until obviously JVC released their firmware updates for the adaptive HDR. Still a fantastic player, absolutely love it. Great for that price. And then also use a Dune HD for all Blu-rays, which I got copies on, and yeah, it's beautiful.
Excellent. And do you do any streaming in here as well?
I do streaming, but I do have to say I prefer physical media.
Yeah.
I do have Netflix and stuff, but I'm a purist, so I want the best sound and the best picture, and that's for me a disc.
Yeah, absolutely.
I got a little bit of a collection, probably 120 of the 4K Blu-rays, which I really enjoy.
Yep.
And they're constantly running here.
Oh, absolutely. So what we might do, we might just show a quick demo of the room in action. So we'll probably show Lone Survivor and some clips of Ready Player One.
Yep.
Hope you enjoy them, guys.
Thanks, guys. Hope you enjoy it.
Marcus, move!
Everything just sounded incredible, and the placement of sounds, you know, the little tiny creaks and noises, you know, it was like being in the theater. So I take my hat off to you, Leo. You know,
Thank you very much, Tony. It means a lot.
And you just got to see my hairstyle, but you know, it was really great being here. So I'd like to say again, thank you, Leo, for having me in your theater room and giving me a tour and playing the demos for me. And I really appreciate getting to experience it firsthand. I must say it's a little different from my usual tours where I direct someone, I get to know them over a course of a couple of weeks, and we go back and forth and we film, and you know, then I'll edit. But I must say I really enjoyed the experience of being able to come into your room and actually see, you know, what's possible in the DIY. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Tony, for coming. It's been an absolute pleasure having you here, and yeah, amazing. You're welcome whenever you want.
Thank you. Thank you. So guys, if you liked the video, remember to smash that like button for me. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, consider subscribing if you'd like to see more content like this. But that's it for this one. You'll catch me in the next one. Bye for now.